Well, hello there, and welcome to the podcast, to another episode of Queerly Overthinking. I'm your host, Adam Harper, and y'all, in this episode, I'm so excited to talk about regret. Oh my gosh, it has been something that has been ruminating in the back of my mind for a long time. It's something that I've wanted to talk about for a while, but I just feel like I haven't quite found the way to talk about it until now, which I'm really excited about. And I don't feel like I'm alone in saying this, that regret is something that I feel just life kind of comes with sometimes, and it's hard to navigate through that because I feel like it's easy to slip into the whole could've, would've, should've spiral, and to let these things, these thoughts, these feelings just ruminate and replay in our minds over and over again, wondering what could have gone differently. But here's the thing, regret, I feel like, can take up a lot of space unnecessarily in our minds. And sometimes I don't feel like it really serves us all the time. I mean, there may be instances where, but I feel oftentimes when I'm ruminating on regret, I just feel stuck. And I want to unpack that a little bit today with y'all. So not to necessarily get into specific choices or things that I've done, we've done, but more so how I've been perceiving regret recently, and maybe more so how I can move through it. So with that, let's get into it. When we say regret, I feel like we usually mean that feeling of looking back and wishing that something had gone differently. And most of the time it can have maybe a negative connotation to it. It feels heavy. It feels like we're stuck living in the past. And if we really think about it, I feel like regret is usually just hindsight showing up. And it's maybe that clearish, more understanding view of what happens after the fact when we make a decision. And perhaps it makes us think like, oh, if only I had known then what I know now. Haven't I said that enough in my life? Let me tell you. And that's why I feel like regret often stings a little bit, because it reminds me that I've changed and I've grown and that I see things differently now. But again, it's hard to feel that when it can also feel really heavy still, and to just kind of dwell on it. But it could be like a signpost, a reminder that I'm not the same person anymore, that I have continued to evolve and to change. But in the moment, it's not always the easiest to feel that way. Now, when it comes to making decisions, the thing is, I feel like I never actually know the full picture in the moment, even though I might think I do. And I feel like we make choices with whatever we have at the time, the information in front of us, the emotions we're feeling, the beliefs that we're holding on to. And sometimes that's enough. Sometimes it's not. And sometimes we only think we know enough, but later realize maybe we didn't. Hopefully that all makes sense. I just feel like it's tricky to describe that feeling of like, you feel like you know everything that you have in this moment, and you have to reassure yourself in that. Can you tell I've been overthinking this a lot? It's a big concept to kind of wrap my head around, and to also just have that understanding that, it's easy to say, I should have done this instead looking back. And it's in that moment though, that version of ourselves that existed then was just making the best call with what they had and with what they could do in that moment. It doesn't mean that the outcome maybe was perfect. It doesn't mean that I wouldn't choose differently today, but it does mean that the version of me wasn't trying to fail or make a mess of things, or at least I hope I wasn't, or I hope past version of myself wasn't. I try to remind myself that younger me was just trying to move forward with what they had, what information that they had before them to make those decisions. And regret creeps in when we forget that context. And it's a constant reassurance to try to remind myself of I'm doing the best I can and just moving forward through that. Before we jump back in, a quick shout out to our executive overthinkers over on Patreon. Our very first member is Scott. Thank you so much for supporting the show. It truly means so much. And if you want to be included in future episode shout outs, check out Really Overthinking on Patreon. And now, back to the show. The question that comes to mind then is just like, okay, so how do I move forward through with regret in life? And y'all, trust me, I just, it's not easy. I still feel like I'm working through it because it's work. It's mindful work. But it's doable. I will say that, because something that I've been practicing, especially in therapy recently, is giving myself a few moments throughout the day to just sit with my feelings and to acknowledge them, and to not sit in it forever or to wallow in it, but just give myself a moment to say like, okay, I'm feeling these feelings right now. Let me just acknowledge this and be present in this moment instead of trying to like shove it away or pack it up in a box and, forget about it. In these moments, I'm trying to notice the story that I'm telling myself or the narrative, because regret often shows up with a narrative, and those are powerful. Sometimes the narrative may make us the villain, like we were the worst person in the world for making that choice. And sometimes it paints us as the victim, like everything was against us and we never had a chance. But the more that I've been working through regret, the more I've started to realize that neither of these stories is the whole truth. And again, they're stories. Part of moving through regret that I'm learning is trying to find a more realistic narrative, one that lets us see ourselves, first of all, as human, and someone who acted with the tools that they had and who has grown since then. That's where I feel like this shift begins to happen. Regret doesn't have to define us. It can remind us that we're different now. And it can remind us that we've learned, we've changed, evolved. But yeah, at the end of the day, regret, it feels heavy. There's no denying that. But it doesn't have to be the end of the story. All right, y'all. We're coming up on the end of this overthinking session here. I wanted to keep this episode pretty short, sweet, and simple, to the point, just because I feel like this is a topic that I have been working through. I've wanted to learn how to share it more broadly without, again, going through specifics, but still really getting personal on the level of how do we break this down and how do we move forward through life with regret. So anyway, I hope that this episode was a fun, quick listen to and kind of a little dive into what I've been overthinking about regret recently. Also, I'm very excited. I'm already brewing up the idea for the episode sticker for this. I have an idea in mind. I'm excited to see it come to fruition. But yeah, anyway, just very excited to be doing companion stickers with each episode. And I'm excited for y'all to see it. Before we go, one quote that I've been sitting with lately comes from Steve Maraboli. They said, "We all make mistakes, have struggles, and even regret things in our past. But you are not your mistakes. You are not your struggles. And you are here now with the power to shape your day and your future." Oh, that sticks with me because I really do feel like we have so much power in our lives. One of my favorite Apple Fitness Plus trainers, he says that you are real life magic. And I wholeheartedly believe that, because it's our power to be able to work through that and to stop letting regret kind of circle the drain with us, and instead leaning into what's ahead in our life. Well, y'all, if this episode resonated with you, or it got you thinking about something, overthinking about something. I hope you'll stick around for the next ones. I'm so excited for this season. Don't forget to check out Queerly Overthinking on social media at Queerly Overthinking on Instagram and TikTok. And check out the Patreon, join the Overthinkers and see what's going on over there, where you can collect episode stickers exclusive to Patreons and also monthly notes that will drop behind the scenes and just kind of what I've been thinking about in a different content medium, writing form versus audio and video. So really excited about that. And swing by the website if you haven't already, www.queerlyoverthinking.com. Give it a check out, see what you think. With that, y'all, thank you so much again for being here. It's so good to be back recording episodes and to be sharing content in new ways, not only episodes, but notes and stickers and everything in between. So anyway, with that, I hope you all have a great rest of your day and I'll see you next time.